What's up, the squad? Back with another video. I seen that thought it was going down. Make sure you hit the like button and the subscribe button for me, please. Y'all see it right here. You got Alpha News. Says Ilhan Omar claims eye-popping surge in net worth was due to accounting error. Talked about this before. It's definitely wild. You know, when it comes down to Ilhan Omar, you know, obviously what she's about, what she's lying about is definitely sick. I'm not gonna lie. Omar says she and her husband are worth up to $95,000, not $30 million, like she reported last year, which is definitely wild. You know that she's doing this now. I'm telling y'all, says right here, find that absolutely hilarious. Say Harris. This is Walter Kurt, by the way. Y'all can follow him on X. Says I find it absolutely hilarious that Ilhan Omar revised her financials from 30 million to 90,000. It's so Somali. Oh no, they notice I'm committing fraud. Quick, delete everything. Tell them I'm completely broke. They'll never find out. Not gonna lie, she's definitely tripping. Because there's no way. I feel like it's truly no way a person can just go and just, we talking about $30 million and now it's 90. No, it don't work like that. Truly doesn't. You got Latinia Brown. Says she's hiding money and it's illegal. Investigate, indict, and deport. You don't steal from Americans and continue to serve in Congress. And I feel like so many people feel the same exact way of what she's doing. I'm telling y'all, it's definitely sickening on what she's doing and others. Ilhan Omar isn't the only one that's doing this. People need to get that. Not the only one. Check it out here from Avery, y'all.
Ilhan Omar has amended her 2024 congressional financial disclosure, citing that there was an accounting error. The original disclosure, filed May 2025, said that her and her husband reported combined assets valued between $6 million and $30 million, which was a huge jump from her prior year's disclosure, which had assets valued around $40,000 to $250,000. Said the spike came from her husband's business interests, including a venture capital firm and a winery. Except now there's an accounting error, and they've adjusted their combined assets to now list between $18,000 and $95,000. The businesses previously valued in the millions were reevaluated as having little to no net value once liabilities, debts, and obligations were properly subtracted, because we're totally buying that story.
Right.
So an accounting error off by 30 million? Somali level IQ right there.
30 million.
Or some Somali level fraud. Who's to say? How does anyone take these people seriously? This is so embarrassing that she is who is representing the Democrats. Our country deserves better than this. An accounting error, my ass.
I'm telling y'all. One thing about it, our country definitely deserves better. You know, when it comes down to it, it's definitely sickening and sad that you have Ilhan Omar that completely, honestly, is very, very insane to have somebody. And the thing is, I told y'all yesterday when I put that video out, she knows. She knows for a fact that she's caught. At first, it was this, you know, when Nick Shirley, you know, obviously shed the light on it, you know, this situation. I feel like honestly, I took him serious. A lot of other people took him serious, but they didn't take him serious. And I feel like they underestimated him. They didn't think that he was going to do, you know, more than he did, I guess. Because Nick Shirley, he isn't done. You know, you seeing him, he's doing a lot. And I'm pretty sure there's more that he said that he's going to do and reveal of Ilhan Omar, you know, coming soon. I don't know if y'all follow him, but if y'all don't, make sure y'all go do that. You got it right here. It says Ilhan Omar blamed an accounting error when correcting the value of her assets from multi-millions to less than 100K. Check it out right here, Newsmax, y'all.
It's unfortunate that they, are utilizing the faith of so many people and making a mockery of it. We have people that have been too cowardly to stand up for the Constitution, to stand up to this president.
Yeah, just the latest from the queen of the Somali fraudsters there, Ilhan, has got some issues of her own for herself. She just got caught pulling the kind of egregiously corrupt scam that you'd expect to see in a place like Somalia. After initially filing financial documents with Congress claiming her wealth had surged to between $6 and $30 million in 2024, because of course it did, Ilhan now facing investigations into that money claims, oh, no, I'm only worth between $18,000 and $95,000, blaming the vast disparity on major accounting errors. I'd say so. Imagine expecting anyone to believe that you thought you were worth $30 million when you're actually flat broke. I just didn't know. I thought I was worth $30 million. Check out the corrected numbers side by side, top and bottom, I guess. Does that look like an accounting error to you? Can you imagine trying to get away with it? Imagine telling that to the IRS. They'd laugh in your face. Yeah. Ilhan revising these numbers after the Office of Congressional Conduct requested additional information earlier this year. The feds are actively looking into Ilhan's financials. Since entering Congress in 2019, Ilhan, who hates America, hates white people, hates capitalism, now lives in Minnesota, married to a white guy, and is swimming in cash. Isn't that something?
You know, everybody's reporting the same story.
Let me tell y'all something. You can go back to this number. This number right here. There's no way. Think about this. It's no way. My thing is, they need to treat her like they'll treat anybody else. Now, because she in Congress and she's trying to get her, I don't want to hear none of that. Because if it was me, if it was you, man, I'll tell you, y'all know how fast y'all be in handcuffs right now? Y'all know how fast I be in handcuffs right now? It's insane, y'all. It's truly insane. I'm telling y'all. This is a post by Wesley Hunt. He actually has something to say, and before he says something, check out what Nick Shirley says.
Ilhan Omar, we know who she is. We know that she's like the queen of the fraud, actually. It's a bit suspicious to have your net worth go up by millions and then just recently say that it's an error. I mean, I don't think I've ever put 2 extra zeros as an error. So Ilhan Omar, no respect whatsoever.
She's serving the interest of America?
Well, absolutely not. And for somebody like me that has served this country, for someone like me that loves this country, to be one of 435 people is an honor. And I can't imagine doing anything that would be harmful to this great nation. And the idea that we are discovering fraud at the federal level, the fact that Ilhan Omar makes about $174,000 a year, but somehow miraculously she is worth $30 million allegedly, which should be investigated, is a problem. And I am somebody that has vowed to not make money on the taxpayer's dime in the form of trades, in the form of making money, in the form of fraud. I vowed to do that because at the end of the day, I serve the people and I serve this country, and people like her have got to be held accountable.
And you think she should resign?
Of course, I think she should absolutely resign.
Exactly. And I feel like so many people think the same way. She should. Not only should resign. Honestly, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I think they just need to put it out as an example. This is truly an example. That's how I feel. I feel like it should truly just this example. You already got Tim Walz, they talking about, impeaching him, but I feel like it's an example. Let's go there. Go to her office, put her in handcuffs, take her out, charge her. I feel like, honestly, she needs to spend some time when it comes down, in the United States. Honestly, some time, in prison, and then on to Somalia. That's me, though. I don't know how y'all feel, but me personally, I definitely think so. Definitely think that's the move. Says, following President Trump's push to investigate Ilhan Omar for becoming a multimillionaire while in office, Omar has admitted her financial disclosure, saying she's only worked up to $90K.
Our country's at a tipping point. We could go bad. We're at a tipping point. I don't know if people mind me saying that, but I'm saying it. We could go one way or the other. And we're going to go the wrong way if we keep taking in garbage into our country. Ilhan Omar is garbage. She's garbage. Her friends are garbage. These aren't people that work. These aren't people that say, let's go, come on, let's make this place great. These are people that do nothing but complain. They complain. And from where they came from, they got nothing. They came from paradise, and they said, this isn't paradise. But when they come from hell.
Exactly.
And
just like it's always been said. Just like it's always been said. Regardless, coming from a country that obviously don't have nothing, you didn't really get none of it, and then to come and have these opportunities, you know, it's honestly a slap in the face. You having Somalians get away with fraud like it ain't nothing. Then as they getting away with it, not spending no time in jail, prison, nothing, they flee the country. I'm telling y'all, it's really insane. Ilhan Omar posted and said Republicans sent ICE, a whopping $75 billion through the big ugly bill last year. This week, the House is voting to send more money to ICE. Let me tell y'all something. They're very much needed. And I say they're very much needed, especially in Minnesota, because of the things that's going down. And she knows that. She knowing what they're doing. This was actually posted not too long ago. I'm telling y'all. Truly insane, y'all. Truly insane. This is Benny Johnson, and Clay Fuller warns Ilhan Omar should be worried about prison time over financial disclosures. Check it out right here.
Gonna have to share an office and maybe even an elevator with her one of these days. Make sure you have your Marlboro Lights ready. Is Ilhan Omar. Ilhan Omar had a wild thing happen recently. Surely you've had to fill out your congressional disclosure forms. And she said that actually her $30 million net worth is only $18,000, that everything else is just a liability. But, like, that doesn't make any sense. I just did my taxes. It's not how liabilities work. It seems like she lied to Congress. What actions would you like to see taken against Ilhan Omar? Also, as a former prosecutor, perhaps current prosecutor, how will you be prosecuting to ensure that Ilhan Omar is thoroughly investigated in Congress?
Yes, and that's why I hope to be on a committee where I can use my prosecutorial skill set. If normal Americans made these types of mistakes on paperwork to the federal government, they'd be facing an investigation and they'd be worried about going to prison. And that's why I talk about, in general, we should be holding members of Congress accountable. The other thing that's so problematic about that, you look at those numbers, those are just rounding errors on the $1 billion worth of fraud that she oversaw just in representing her district with the Somali fraud there. So maybe all of that money that suddenly disappeared in her net worth just went to one of those Leering centers there in Minneapolis.
Yeah, I don't know what kind of I don't know what kind of law that you practiced, but the vice president just recently told me that they have documented that Ilhan Omar lied on her immigration forms and that she committed immigration fraud, that the White House has it. Stephen Miller has the official documents, and we've actually confirmed that through a third party at DHS. What would you like to see, Congressman, happen, as a prosecutor who surely wants to uphold American laws? What would you like to see happen there?
Well, I became a judge advocate general because I saw a few good men, and I never thought I'd be able to use this line in an interview, but Benny, I just want the truth. Can we just get the truth? And when that truth comes out and they have those documents and we look at that evidence, let's hold people accountable. That's what the American people are asking for. That's what they're begging for. And honestly, that's what the good folks of Georgia 14 sent a prosecutor to do. And I'm going to start going through that evidence, and I'm going to do everything I can to make sure that the bad actors that are up here on Capitol Hill are going to be held accountable. That's my pledge to every person that put me here, and that's my pledge to every American citizen.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is why we need fresh blood. This is why we need people that haven't been rotted and corrupted to the core from and by the system. You can see what it does to people. Oh, it's gross. Have you seen what Nancy Pelosi looks like these days? I mean, it's just
I think it's people that don't put God first.
Yes, that's right.
Christ is King. I don't think they put their faith first. Okay. That was actually part of my campaign. It was the first word in every document that I had in my campaign. God put me here. God has kept me on this planet. I'm a cancer survivor, and I put my faith first.
That's lit. That's lit. That's lit. I gotta give him that. That's lit. And I say that because, I definitely have to give it to you, regardless of this, but my mom had breast cancer, and she's a breast cancer survivor, and I know there's many of you, and I know there's many of you that lost, but this is definitely an amazing thing. So that's why I had to pause, because that's an amazing thing. Anybody. But I definitely had to pause, and let it be known, because that's definitely something that's huge.
Survivor, and I put my faith first, and Christ is King. And I think people lose that perspective when they're here. You're doing God's work here, and you're doing the people's work, and that should be your focus every day.
ooh, man, you'll have the demons after you, right? When
No,
you post
come on.
Christ is King, you'll have the demons come after you.
I'm not worried about it.
We post it every morning, say, bring it on, bring it on. And well done. I mean, listen, man, you go around Congress saying Christ is King. You're going to perform some exorcists.
You trying to tell me I'm not going to make a lot of friends here?
Maybe that's what you should say to Ilhan Omar when you're in the elevator with. Yeah. My team's like, what do you mean Marlboro Lights? She smokes Marlboro Lights. That's not haram, by the way, but she does smoke Marlboro Lights. And that's how they were able to get her DNA, to prove that she's actually related to the man that she married, her brother. So it's from her cigarette. So that's the explanation of that, if anybody doesn't know the lore.
I did not know that. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. That's wild. That's actually wild. One thing about it, Ilhan Omar, she ain't doing that. She's doing it to herself. She's doing it to herself. You literally have a Somalian right here that was on CBS. Just listen what she says right here.
Not comfortable sometimes because when I drive, when I'm sitting somewhere, not comfortable like before.
She says the president's recent focus on the Somali community is unnerving.
What he said, we've affected all communities. We know some people, they make fraud, but not all. Not comfortable sometimes.
So let me. Some people, they make fraud, but not all. Some people, they make fraud, but not all. Remember when I told y'all how bad it is when they didn't get taught this, when they didn't get taught, they literally are telling themselves? This is one of those times. Literally telling it all. Literally, and I believe, the thing is I believe it. I believe that there's actually Somalians that haven't committed fraud. I believe it. That's in Minnesota. And there's a large majority that is. But let me tell you something. A lot of those Somalians that's doing it are messing it up for those other Somalians. I mean, that's just me just being real. I'm telling y'all. Says you enter politics with debt and leave a multimillionaire, you didn't serve the taxpayers. You looted them. And that's truly correct. I'm telling y'all. It's definitely sickening. It's definitely sad, of what Ilhan Omar, is about. And it's truly wild. It says theft, fraud, insider trading, crimes. I'm telling y'all, it's horrible. It's definitely horrible. Make sure y'all hit the like button, hit that subscribe button. Stay tuned for the next video dropping tonight. You already know. Trying to drop bangers for y'all. Catch y'all next one.